Okay, so this next video that I'm going to have you guys watch is an inches, feet, and yards song. It's going to describe the three measurements that we're using this week, and I'm going to have you guys watch it a couple of times because I think that the more you become familiar with these different measurements, the more the song will make sense. So if you see that, it's Wednesday and I have you watching this link again, it's not a mistake. I wanted you guys to watch it at least 2 or 3 times this week so that you can become more familiar with the song. All right, here we go.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it. We know we can always put 12 inches inside a foot, and 1 yard just won't be complete if it does not contain 3 feet.
1 inch is what you got if you're looking at the top of a bottle of pop. On your thumb is about 1 inch from your knuckle to your fingertip.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it.
The length of the folder where your work is put measures out to just 1 foot.
You'll find a foot if you look at the height of the parrot on my hook.
Yar. A football field has 100 marks. Each one is a yard apart.
At the plate with a softball bat, a yard is about what you're looking at.
Open your fingers a pinch and make an inch. Then make your hands look just like a foot. Put them 3 times as far and make a yard. Now we know how long they are.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it.
All right, wasn't that so awesome? Okay, so if you feel like you need to watch the video again, then go ahead and watch it again. If not, we are going to go ahead and move forward. So we are going to talk about inches, just like how we were talking about measuring last week. This week we're going to be talking about different units of measurement. So we'll be talking about inches, feet, as well as yards. So for this first assignment that you guys have, this first activity, it's called Working with Inches. The inch is a length measurement that was once used to describe the width of a man's thumb at the base of the nail. So if you look at this picture right here, so it's not the actual thumbnail, but it's at the base, right at the base of where the nail ends. So look at your thumb and see if you can find that base right at where your nail ends and just kind of touch it. So that's how much an inch is, basically. Okay, and of course it would be different for people who have different size hands, but for the most part, that's how they would use to measure an inch. So in some countries, the word for inch is the same as the word thumb. How does your inch compare to that of other students? Since you guys aren't with your classmates right now, maybe if you have some sisters or brothers or some cousins or even maybe your parents, maybe you can compare their thumb to your thumb and see how your inches would be different. But inches can be used to describe the length seen in different objects such as the width of a frying pan, the length of a nail, or the height of a door. Measurements for televisions and whiteboards are taken from opposite corners like this. So in the last activities that we did, you guys were told to use a ruler to measure different objects, and you were told to lay the object flat, to put the ruler at 0 where the beginning of the object ends, and then to measure it out from there. But when we're talking about televisions and whiteboards and things that are big and square rectangular like that, you're going to measure it from opposite corners. So if you see this line right here, it's going from this corner to the opposite corner. So that's why, you hear about 50-inch screen TVs or 86-inch screen TVs, or if you think about the big whiteboard that we had in the classroom, to see the inches of that, that's how they would measure it from corner to corner. This is a picture of an 86-inch whiteboard. What measuring tool would you use to measure a whiteboard? So just think about that. If you could measure the whiteboard, what do you think would be the smartest tool to use? Probably not a ruler, because that would take a lot of rulers. I know there's such things as yardsticks or as tape measurers. So I would probably maybe use a tape measurer, because those measure pretty easily for large objects. Okay, so let's move on. Of course, you guys are going to have to do this by yourself, but what I ended up doing was just keeping the questions but changing the numbers. So I'm going to go over with you guys how to do this, how to work through it, so that when you have to do it on yours, you'll know exactly how to maneuver around it. But just remember that although most of this looks the same, your answers are going to be different because your numbers are different. Okay, so I'm not giving you the answers. Yours is going to look exactly the same as mine, but it's going to have different numbers right here. You can see I kind of copied and pasted my own numbers in there. All right, so let's see if we can work this first one out. It says, this table shows, went to the next one. Okay, here we go. It says, this table shows the measurement of some students' televisions. In each pair, loop the student who has the larger television. That's easy peasy because we know that larger is the what? Is larger the bigger number or the smaller number? So I hope you said bigger number, because if I want something that's larger, then that means I want the bigger one. So we have to look between the two names. So the first one is Charlie and Bianca. So Charlie, I got to find Charlie. Oh, there's Charlie. All right, so he has a 43-inch. Bianca has a 55-inch. So which number is bigger, 55 or 43? So which student would have the bigger one? So what you guys are going to do when it's your turn, you're just going to come. I gave everybody a circle right here. You're just going to come, click on that circle, wait till it turns blue, and you're just going to drag it to the name that's the biggest, just like I did there. All right, let's do the next one. So we have Harry or Nathan. So let's look at Harry. Harry has 25. Nathan has how many? 56. So which one is bigger? Nathan. Good job. So again, we'll just take it and drag it. All right, let's do the next one. Nathan versus Charlie. Nathan has how many? Nathan over here has 56. How many does Charlie have? 43. So who has it, the bigger number? Who has the large television? Nathan does. And the very last one, we have Harry versus Bianca. Which one are y'all choosing, Harry or Bianca? We would choose Bianca because Bianca has a 55-inch, but Harry has a 25-inch. So that is how you would work that problem on your sheet, or when it's time for your slide. Now we'll move to the next page. So the next page looks like this. Again, I've changed the numbers, so your page is going to look exactly like this, except for I've changed the numbers, so your answers are going to be different. But I just want to go through this page with you just so that you can, if you do need these questions read out for you, I'm going to read all of them for you so we can work all of them together. All right, so this says, the table shows the measurements of other televisions. Complete each sentence. Blank has the largest television. So which one of these people has the largest television? Looks like that first one, Felipe. So we're right here going to type in Felipe. Awesome. The next one, who has the smallest television? Steven has the smallest television. He has the smallest number. Maria's television is blank inches smaller than Felipe's. All right, so this one we're going to have to think about. We're going to have to break this one down because it looks like we're going to have to do some steps. It says that Maria's television is blank inches smaller. It's not asking us what size Maria's television is. It wants to know how many inches smaller is hers than Felipe's. So let's look at Maria. So Maria has 50. So I'm going to draw right here First, I got to put the marker. All right. So I'm going to draw right here 50 because that's how much Maria has. Okay? And it says it's smaller than Felipe's. Well, Felipe has how many? Felipe has 70. Now, are we going to have to add these two numbers or subtract them? Because we're going to want to know how much smaller is Maria's than Felipe. So are we going to try to get a bigger number or we're going to try to get a smaller number? We're going to try to get a smaller number. So that means that we're going to have to subtract. And anytime we see that subtraction sign, we need to make sure that we put our biggest number on top. All right, so the first thing that we do when we subtract, we put our line down the middle. 0 minus 0 is 0. We don't have to go next door and knock and borrow from our neighbor because the number on top is not bigger than the number on the bottom. And what is 7 minus 5? If I hold up 7 fingers and I put 5 down, how many do I have left? 2. So what is our answer? Our answer is 20. That means that Maria's television is, and then right here I'm going to type 20. I don't have to write inches because it's already written there for me. All right, so let's do the next one. So let me erase this one. Erase. All right, let's see if we can try another one out. This one says Steven's television is blank inches smaller than Lomas's. So it kind of sounds like the last one that we just did, doesn't it? So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to do the same thing, aren't we? All right, so let's look. So this says Steven's television is blank inches smaller than Lomas's. So that means we're going to have to do the same thing we did for this last one. So we got to look at, first let's look at Steven. Steven has how many inches on his TV? 45. How many does Lomasi have? 43. Well, we're going to subtract again because remember we're trying to find a smaller number at the end. Then which number do we put on top? 45 or 43? We're going to put the 45 on top. And why are we going to put the 45 on top? We got to put the 45 on top because it's big, the biggest number. Let's not forget our sign. That way we know exactly what we're doing there so we don't get mixed up. We have 45 minus 43. Put our line. That way we know what's under this line is our answer. Our first step that we always do is we split it right down the middle. Next step is look. Is the number on top bigger or smaller? It's bigger, so that means we don't have to go next door and borrow. So what is 5 minus 3? 2. Very good. Ooh, that's a crazy looking 2. Okay. And what is 4 minus 4? 0. Any number minus itself is 0. But do we have to put the 0 right there? No, because that's not how we would normally just write that number. So then we come over here, click on it, and I would write 2. Let's move to the next one. It says, blank television is 20 inches longer than blank. Whose television is 20 inches longer? Well, up here we saw that that was 20 inches longer, right? So we know that Felipe and Maria, but whose is 20 inches longer? Is Maria's 20 inches longer than Felipe, or is Felipe's 20 inches longer than Maria? So then right here we would write that our answer would be Felipe's television is longer than Maria's television. Okay, and then I will let you guys figure the next two out by yourself. I want to see if you guys can get this one by yourself, but I'll read it out to you, okay? So the first one says, the difference between the size of Steven's television and the size of Maria's television is blank inches. So again, we're seeing that keyword difference. And remember, when we see that word difference, that means that we're going to have to subtract, okay? So I just gave you guys a clue for that one. And then G says, blank's television is 6 inches larger than Felipe's television. So again, you would have to go back and do your math and see whose television is 6 inches larger than the other person's. Okay? Also, these are not the answers for you. These are just the answers with these numbers that I put here. You are going to have completely different numbers just with the same question. The last thing asks you to look at the tables and do it from least to greatest. It wants you to look at the table from this page, this table down here, as well as this page's table right here. So what I'm going to try to do is see if I can copy and paste this page's table onto this page, so that way you'll have all 8 numbers. And then you're just going to do it from least to greatest. So that means that your smallest number out of both tables is going to go here, and then you're just going to order it until you get to the largest number. So I shouldn't have a 100 here and a 6 right here, because then you would be doing greatest to least. But it wants us to do least to greatest, so smallest all the way up to largest. Then this one down here is I just want you to kind of take your best guess. There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to see kind of what your brains are thinking. So I want you guys to estimate the size of our whiteboard. So the board that I teach on, where we watch our movies and we watch our shows, I want you guys to just think, how many inches, not feet, but how many inches. Now remember, we said that an inch was, if you looked at your thumb, it was at the base of your nail. So how many of those nails do you think, if you went from corner to corner, do you think our whiteboard would be? Do you think it would be 100? Do you think it would be 35? So like I said, no right or wrong. I just want to see what you guys are thinking. Okay? So that is it for you guys today. Please make sure that you do your path lasers. Make sure that you complete the assignments below, and let me know if you have any questions.